When you think of Zach Galifianakis, you might think of the bumbling, baby-toting Alan from The Hangover. Or maybe the eccentric coroner from True Calling. But the man we see on screen today is a far cry from the artist he started out as. Before Hollywood took notice, Galifianakis was perfecting a persona so absurd and so uncomfortable that it was designed to make audiences question what they were even watching. He was the outsider, the reluctant celebrity, and his career is a masterclass in staying true to a vision, even when it's not what the public expects. In the late 90s and early 2000s, while other comedians were telling jokes about airplanes and relationships, Zach Galifianakis was creating chaos. On stage, he would blend self-deprecating humor with non-sequiturs and performance art. He often used a piano to punctuate his bizarre stories.
I'm named after my granddad. My middle name. My name is Zach Granddad Galifianakis.
And at one point, he had an a cappella group, the Night Owls, sing in the background while he made jokes. This unique and off-kilter approach to comedy earned him a loyal cult following, but it was not the path to mainstream fame.
Well, I'm not interested in being a celebrity.
For decades, he was a comedian's comedian, the absurdist who lived on the fringe. But in 2009, all of that changed. When The Hangover exploded into a worldwide phenomenon, so did Zach Galifianakis. The man who had spent his career making audiences uncomfortable was now an overnight celebrity, and his unique persona was suddenly a household name. But for a man who had intentionally avoided the spotlight, this new level of fame was a terrifying and unwelcome change.
Looking for some new tricks, and if that means doing more dramatic things, I would be lying to say that that doesn't excite me, because the comedy thing is harder than the dramatic thing.
Instead of leaning into his newfound stardom, he did the opposite. While he continued to star in some comedies, he began to actively pursue roles that were a world away from the character of Alan. He took on a surprisingly toned-down role in the Academy Award-winning film Birdman, where he played a Broadway producer. Then he co-created and starred in the FX series Baskets, a critically acclaimed dramedy where he played not one, but two tragic and emotionally complex characters. For an actor who was told to leave well enough alone, he showed the world he was a serious talent, a dramatic actor, and a showrunner all at once.
My guest today, Bradley Pitts. Bradley Pitts, thanks for joining me.
Having proven his dramatic chops, Galifianakis did something unexpected. He returned to the very thing that made him a cult icon, Between Two Ferns. But he didn't just bring it back as a web series. He wrote and produced a feature film, a brilliant satire that mocked the very Hollywood machine that had tried to change him. By creating Between Two Ferns, the movie, he showed the world that he was in full control of his own legacy, a true artist who prioritized his unique vision over easy mainstream success. In recent interviews, Galifianakis has been candid about his feelings on fame, admitting he's been trying to keep his family and his personal life separate from Hollywood. He even once told his kids he was a librarian rather than a famous actor. But that's the final piece of the puzzle. The man who once rebelled against the absurdity of Hollywood ended up creating his own space within it. He didn't just survive the fame, he transformed it into something new. His career is proof that in an industry that constantly tries to put people in a box, an artist can create their own path by simply refusing to follow the rules.